What makes him different is he'll never just be a number.
You have to embrace it, and you have to understand that you're blessed to be in that position. The main thing is to just enjoy it, enjoy the journey that you're on.
If they went to pick him up from the dig sometimes or from home, he'd always be outside playing, practicing against the wall, chipping it into a bin. And when they dropped him off later on, he was out to play with his mates as well. So he'd already gone training, he'd be playing again.
Now they playing up front, coming like Rashford.
I'm dirty nails, no business, no banking. More time I'm one up over cake, and most of my friends on the landing. But they just whack my man from behind, come like he dabbed or he's planking. Man, young bull doing up front, coming like Rashford. My young boys coming like ringers, all of them bigger.
It was like he was born to play football. Cause I remember as a kid, he'd be in his little rocker chair, crying his eyes out. Put him in front of a TV with football with a mini skills ball in his hands and he'd shut up.
My brothers used to play a lot of football with their friends, so from when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I used to always be asking my mum if I can go out and play. My first team was a local team. It was actually a year 6 team, but I started playing with them when I was in year 4. When I started playing for my Sunday league team, I remember doing a pass to one of my teammates, and then my brothers tried to test me like, do you know what you just done there? And I was like, yeah, it was a through ball and stuff like that. Then that's when he understood that, because I was very young at the time, and he understood that I was sort of more forward than the other people in my age group.
Okay, we used to play, it'll have to be 2-touch.
Yeah.
Or
one on the roof.
Yeah, 2-touch, the one off the roof, or
That was I made that.
the lamppost game.
Everything was sort of made up using whatever surroundings was there. So there's not a blueprint to it. We'd just go out and maybe a target was there. So that would be our game for the day. And then tomorrow it could be a complete different thing. Anything we'd make a game out of.
You should just run around the track, like you just run around.
No, we used to sprint, guys. I used to athletics as well as football.
Okay.
Marcus wasn't the quickest over 100 metres, but 0 to 30.
His acceleration
was ridiculous. But then what the issue was after that though is he could do that a million times without getting tired. It was like that was just normal to him to do.
There was a sand pit there as well. There was like a bit of grass where we used to play football on, and then a sand pit, and then the running track. So sometimes we used to just have a full-on athletics day of just running up and down the track, every distance, 60, 100, 200, 400. And we used to go in the sand pit, do long jump. So yeah, we just used to, everything was just a competition for us, and that doesn't really change.
That was actually his ball, that's why.
That ball, basically, where that ball came from is I got one as well. But he wrote his name on it, so no one. The reason why he wrote his name on it is so I didn't kick it.
That's how zoned he was on football. The football was his best mate.
Yeah.
We had that.
In his bed.
That was his mentality. He used to
Sleep
go
with
to
a ball in his bed
with a football. Honestly, you'd find a football in his bed with him every other night. Every day he'd get up, you'd hear it kicking, he'd play Mockingbird, Eminem Mockingbird in the background, and the ball would be there, singing all the lyrics. He's like, Marcus is so calm.
Trust me, that was necessary. If you're from where I'm from, that was necessary, because if you lose your ball, you ain't getting it back. So I had to make sure that everyone on the street knew if I kicked it in the garden or they found it in a bush, it was mine, and they had to bring it back to my house. The balls so when I left Fletcher Moss, that ball was from my last training session with them. So when I went to United from there, I just always kept that ball with me.
What happened was he came into what we call the Manus group, the Manchester United schoolboy scholarship that Tony Whelan ran, Dave Bushell, Neil Ryan was fundamental in it. And we had a game we had in the cage with the under-18s. Then we started to involve under 16s, 15s, 14s, went a mixed age group in a cage 50 by 30. And Marcus was so good that we said, well, let's stick him in as well, even though he was 12. So he was playing this cage with Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard when they were 18, he was 12.
What I learnt with them, like I used to take to my own age group, and that's how it works. So their skills was being passed on to me, and then I was passing it on to other people in my age group. And you know, before you know it, the skills that the under 18s have, the under 11s, under 12s have the same stuff. So that level of performance is like that was a big change for me when I started training with the older ones.
In the under 18s, they asked him, do you want to go with the under 21s? He comes home and says to me like, no, I'm going to stay with the 18s because there's areas of the game that I still need to work on. Yeah. So we've talked about your back to goal, how to come in, how to like bend your runs and stuff like that. And he was saying like, I've only been a striker for a year, so I want to work. So he asked to be held back.
After I'd done my first year at under 18s, the original plan was for me to go and do a year with the reserves, but like I knew that year would have consisted of like playing a few games here and there or coming off the bench. So it was actually like a decision that I made to stay with my own age group and use that time to try and develop the skills that I'd been developing even more. Pre-season to the beginning of February, I was playing like with both age groups, like under 18s, and then if reserves had a midweek game, I'd travel with them and maybe be on the bench or play the game with them. So that's how we was working it. But my training and development stages, that was all done with the under 18s still. I had a message off my brother that was saying that you're in the England squad and stuff. So I had time to sort of process it from then. But at first it was just all excitement and.
We've got plenty of pace. Oh my goodness! Marcus Rashford. Inside 2.5 minutes, the dream continues for the teenager.
That feeling of the first time you go, you know, it's a special feeling, and that's why I always say, because when it happens for the first time, like it's not going to happen again. So you have to embrace it, and you know you have to understand that you're blessed to be in that position. The main thing is to just enjoy it, enjoy the journey that you're on. You know, when you're young, the first thing you dream about is being involved in a World Cup. A lot of things this year have been because of the focus at the end of the season, which was the World Cup. So things like being in the best condition that you can possibly be in at this stage of the season. That was probably the most challenging thing. If this tournament was last year, I remember last year I was very tired and like I needed a break. We had a load of games at the end of the season, whereas this year things have been channeled differently, so you can try and peak towards the tournament time. Yeah, I was about 5 years old, and I just remember watching, not only in the England game but just in all of Brazil's games, there was always playing sort of freely, and they was enjoying the time on the pitch. So I think that's like an important thing for me anyway. I try and take the happiness off the pitch onto the pitch, and you know, try and embrace it, and it helps me with my performance. You know, I'll treat it like any other game, but it's gonna be special, and rather than ignoring that, you have to embrace it, and you know, you have to enjoy that moment, because like you said, the first game, you're never gonna have a first game again. So yeah, just embrace the moment.
I think Marcus, what makes him different is he'll never just be a number, and he always wants more. Do you know what I mean? Like I was speaking with him yesterday, he's got all the starts behind him, he's got all the appearances behind him, he's got all the goals and the medals behind him. But you talk to Marcus, he's talking about how can he get more? What do I do if I need to be able to get more by the time I'm this age and that age?